Gotta get more followers.
Everyone, today going to be having a little chat with James from Take Profit Trader. It's been a while since we last talked. We're going to talk about all the things going on with Take Profit Trader, the industry as a whole, the latest fads, all of those types of things. I think there's a ton of wisdom in this interview, honestly. James makes some really good points. He actually helped me reframe my thinking in some ways about some of the shenanigans that go on. So I'm really excited to bring you this interview. Be sure to check out Take Profit Trader. Of course, links down below in the video or on my website, CanadianFuturesTrader.ca. Be sure to go to the review. You'll see front and center, Take Profit is one of my top 3 companies, guys. I've always liked Take Profit. After talking to James, I like them even more if that's possible. But guys, you aren't here to listen to me talk. Let's get into it. My conversation with James from Take Profit Trader. Everyone, today we are going to talk to James from Take Profit Trader. It has been a few years. First of all, James, how are you?
I'm well, man. Thank you for having me. You've
Oh,
you're
yeah.
such a big guy in the space. This is real cool to come talk to you.
No, always a pleasure. It's honestly been far too long. And but on the plus side, we get to learn all about several things. We got lots to talk about today. So first things first, I just want to talk about, it's literally, I think, been 2 years since we last talked. So just an update on Take Profit Trader, maybe the things have changed. I know you now have more accounts, live support, etc. If you can just fire off and let us know.
Is it really? I don't know if it's been 2 years. If it has,
Maybe it
man,
hasn't.
time has
It's
really flown. Maybe it has. You could be right. But again, we, as most people know, with all the stuff that happened on the Forex side, TPT has been a bit. You don't see my ugly mug as much on YouTube, and it's just because we're trying to just quietly do our thing. The kind of way we've always done it is try to make the experience better for the trader. I know that seems like so cliche, especially because with all the competition, everybody says they're better for the trader. We have recently added we're like 24/5 now. We really leaned into the live support, which has been a key differentiator for us all along. So now we have a US team, a European team, and an Asian team. So we're really covered
That's
24/5. So that's one of the big things, Chris, I wanted to talk about was that. As far as some of the other stuff, it's really giving the traders more of what they want. And again, I'm going to say some things here that sound so cliche and probably get some eye rolls, but when we ask the traders, what do you want more of? And one of those things that kept coming up was more accounts. So we gradually went from 1 to 3 and now to 5. And a big part of that, I really wanted to point out that the 5 accounts, there is a path to live funding. And this isn't something where you're in 5 sim accounts and then 5 sim live accounts, and then you get to live, and then most of the other firms, they'll give you like 1 live account. No, this is not how it works. It works is there's no like red tape there where there's the gotcha. It's really like 5 real accounts, because that's essentially what you paid for when you got 5 evaluations and you got through, and you got 5 pro accounts. Then you get pro plus accounts, which as everybody knows, is the live market, and we don't cut back on your accounts once you've done all the hard work to get there. So I think that that's a key thing that we really wanted to strive on. Is as we've added these accounts, we've also gone to a reasonable number where we've never really believed in having 50 accounts or anything like that. But when you do get to that pro plus, it is the full allotment with no scaling plan.
cool. Yeah. And I think that's important. And if anyone doesn't realize, I mean, like James said, with a lot of firms, you move to live, all your sim funded move to 1. But a lot of people, like you said, you paid for 5, you should have 5. And then it really does benefit the trader. They can diversify the risk over those 5. Whereas you just have 1 huge account, people get in trouble with those. So it is important. And then as well, like James touched on, I mean, the 24-hour support, the 5 days a week it's it's interesting. It is something that like I don't think people are so focused on the trading and the accounts and the cost and all that stuff, but live support has kind of gone away over the last several years. So it's nice that a firm's actually like bringing it back and available, all those hours that traders are around. So we had talked a little bit before we started recording as well. You have some other things that are going to help kind of streamline the process, specifically like KYC and compliance related. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that again, as the industry is becoming competitive, it's really awesome for the trader. And because there's so many options out there, and we're the first ones to say at TPT that TPT might not be right for everybody. Just like it really depends on your sweet spot. Like we really have, the payout policy at Take Profit is something that people love, and you could probably find better rules somewhere else. We're very, very clear and transparent about that. So it's not like, I've never, and the team has never got into these like public drama fests with people on X and stuff and like arguing about this and that. We do our own thing, and like we let our product speak for itself. So where I'm going with that, Chris, is that part of that is like as this industry has become more competitive, and I said it's better for the trader, it also makes these competitive firms, the competing firms, start making these like massive claims and stuff like that, and it really like it makes my skin crawl a little bit because trading is very difficult, and we're actually at Take Profit Trader going the other direction and saying we're going to put something KYC. Originally, KYC was on the back when you were getting paid out. Now it's just going to be a very streamlined process on the front side for all our new traders, so that everybody is who they say they are. There's no fraud in the space, and we're really trying to I don't want to say legitimize because it's always been legitimate, but with this now feel like it's kind of the Wild West in this industry. We're really trying to push the other direction. Be like, guys, if you want a reputable firm, we haven't been around the longest. I will not say something that's not true. But if you want a reputable firm that is going to be here, you're going to get paid on day one, you know, you're confident in Take Profit Trade. If you want a firm that you can be confident in, Take Profit Trader is definitely in the running for you. Okay. Again, I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I think that KYC, and we believe that KYC on the front end will give people more confidence that, hey, maybe I'm comfortable with this product. I know that they're legit. They're trying to do things the right way, and I want to go with them. So yeah, that's one of the things that we're pretty excited about. It's technology has gotten so good, Chris, that this KYC process, if you're in the United States or in Canada or even in some like obscure country, especially United States and Canada, it's almost instant. So we're talking about a KYC that can take 10, 15 seconds. I'm not saying that it always does, because I don't want someone to say, hey, it didn't take me 15 seconds. It took me 2 minutes. But it's a very easy process. And we're really excited about, again, furthering ourselves as Take Profit Trader as, a legitimate company that's got legs to stand on as the industry becomes like more and more crazy.
Absolutely. And I'm making notes as you talk. There's a few things I just kind of wanted to touch on that I 100% can back up on the payouts first and foremost. I mean, fastest out there. And I'm not just saying that because James is here. Like literally I can put in a request and like 5 minutes later, I'll get the email saying your request is approved. And then money's on its way. And if it's not there that day, it's there the next. And that's just banking stuff. Like it's no big deal. And, that is very cool. And even something that maybe you take for granted, James, but because I see all these other firms, like just your whole wallet system, all that, like it's just so simple and easy and effective. Like it all works, which is very much appreciated. You don't have to email support and request and all this stuff. Like it just works.
Yeah. I can't take credit for all that, Chris, though. Like the technology, like I said, we use Plaid, as many of you know. The technology now is so damn good that, it allows this stuff to happen fast, reliable, and securely, right? So if you're willing to, play by the rules, that this stuff it's once the integrations are done, it's very, very user friendly and it's very easy on the trader. And like you said, in most cases, people are getting the money instantly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's not just me. Like I see it out there in the wild, other people saying the exact same thing. So no, it's fantastic. And then we kind of rolled, or you kind of rolled. I mean, yeah. So the KYC stuff and same thing. Like I can back that up. I mean, yeah, it happens super super duper quick. So that stuff is all fantastic. Definitely a streamlined firm. We kind of touched on a little bit, the new entrant. I mean, not really, but so far, but kind of dabbled in the new entrants and stuff. It's interesting, and I've said for a while now, and I've been looking forward to talking to you, just how it seems like the way of a lot of firms is like open a Discord, or like you touched on earlier, like getting in fights on Twitter, or even CEOs of different firms fighting, and you guys are just like nowhere near that discussion, but for the best though, like you're not involved in any of that. And I think it's fantastic. I guess, can you just touch a little bit more on, I'm assuming it's a specific decision to stay away from all of
Yeah.
that nonsense.
Yeah, maybe like I don't know if it's from like my sport background, but definitely like we always led in sports, like you always said, you play speaks for itself. I don't need to argue with somebody about who's the GOAT or something. If you're in that conversation and you let the people that watch the games decide who's the GOAT. The same thing with trading. Like there's no need to really bicker. And I'll say too that like we don't talk shit about other firms for a reason. It's because in this space, I understand why firms are doing the things that they're doing. It might not be for me, but that doesn't mean that I can't see a universe where, hey, this firm is probably better for this kind of trader. If a guy is like super price sensitive and wants the lowest price, they're not going to be a take profit trader. I get that. I'm not going to sit there and badmouth another firm for having lower prices than us because I know that the lower price over there costs that trader something over here. And you'll see this in the firm. We've probably talked about this on a lot of your, when you've talked to other firms, is there's this trade-off in prop. It's like if you want, day one payouts and you want a reliable firm that does things the right way, you might have to pay a little bit more and the rules might not be as good. If you're coming over here and you're getting the best price in the world, you're probably going to get them dragging their feet on paying you out. Or if you're going direct to funding, I know this is kind of like in vogue. I don't know all the rules behind these things. I just do know that as a trader, you got to be careful you got to understand the whole story because going like, direct to a pro account or a funded account, whatever these other firms call it, but you can only get paid twice a month and you got to trade X number of days. Whereas if you have a 5-day evaluation and you can get paid on day one, you might actually be there for, you might be able to take your money a lot quicker and a lot more money if you're making money. So it's not always what it seems to be unless you really understand the industry and you dig down, because where you get something over here, you lose something over here. And I'm not saying that, I'm actually saying that I like some of the other firms. I don't talk to their CEOs. I don't fight with their CEOs. I don't, rub their other CEOs' backs because I don't really care. I care about what we're doing. But I will say that that's the reason I don't shit on other firms either, is because I understand that there's a give and a take. If you're the lowest price, you got to give something here, or you got to take something here. If you don't have the best rules, then you got to give something over here. And that's just kind of the way the industry works. And I think that as the market becomes more sophisticated, and it has so much more sophisticated now than it was 2 or 3 years ago, I think people understand that. I'm just kind of reiterating what people already know.
Yeah, no, that's actually, I never really thought of it that way, but that is a fantastic way of putting it. The trade-off that you see, and it's 100% correct. I mean, quite honestly. So, and I mean, as just a user, as a customer of different firms, yeah, like when I see like CEOs fighting or their Discord is a disaster, it racks up over time, and it makes me think a little bit more negative of that person or that company over time, and as well. Anyways, that's just me, but I'm seeing it out there in general. I think some of the stuff's being pushed too far. So again, appreciate Take Profit Trader taking a professional approach. Always said you guys are professional, professionally run, handle your business professionally, all that stuff, and it shows. Like, and I think it's the long game is the way to go. So, so we kind of touched on instant funding firms. Greed seems to be the in vogue thing. See how long it is for, but we'll find out. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, Chris, just to close that, I mean, again, I don't want to come here on your show and just put people down. That's not my point. It's like I just
Hmm.
want people to know that there are always longevity concerns and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And there are people that have been around a long time, and maybe this new stuff sticks. I don't know, but there is always a trade-off, and I want people to know that there is that trade-off, even with something that might look like the new shiny object of, oh, that's incredible over there, but there's always that but. And I just wanted to make sure that was pretty clear that we're not playing that game. We're playing the game we've always played. It's the long game and
Hmm.
may not appeal to everybody. And I acknowledge that. I own that there are maybe a better rule over here or a better rule about this over there. But we really lean into the support and the payout structure.
Yeah, 100%. And kudos to you again. I mean, but another interesting, and this is, again, I'm not trying to lead you down the road of bagging on companies, but I feel like there has been a lot of negative, not negative, but like less than quality stuff out there. So I kind of had some notes here to talk about just like Forex firms blowing up, Forex companies jumping over to futures. I've seen a litany of new firms, not even just the straight to funded. Like there are a handful of those, but there's also just a bunch of new firms in general. But tell me your thoughts in a second here. But what I've really noticed that companies are just opening, they're not even ready. Like they're just they don't have like a payout processor on board. They can't accept credit cards. Like it just seems to me like people are just firing like half baked ideas out there now. Do you have what are your thoughts on that? Or I mean, I know you don't want to talk negative about any of them, but I'm just curious your thoughts as an owner of how the industry is really shaped this year.
Yeah, it's like any industry. It gets more competitive, and like I said at the beginning, like the shenanigans get more become crazier
Uh,
and crazier until, unfortunately, in almost every industry I've ever seen, until unfortunately something bad happens to the
mm,
industry, and right. And so, like we at Take Profit Trader want to make sure that we're doing everything we can that when somebody comes out, some regulatory body, if it happens, and
mm,
not mongering is there are going to be some rules and like there's going to be some lines drawn and we think that we'll be within those lines, right, with the
yeah.
things that we're doing. It's like I don't see a universe where you could come in and not be able to hand over to the authorities or the regulatory body, that you actually know who your customers are, or
Mm,
and things like that. So and we're getting down probably a different path here, but I just think that when these firms come in like you're talking about and start doing these things where maybe you don't have a processor, you don't have a system, you don't have a help desk, you don't have any live support, it
mm,
just becomes, I think if you think of it logically, it just becomes like it doesn't make any sense. You sit here thinking to
yeah.
yourself, okay, um, I think somebody, and I don't even know which firm it is. Somebody said like, no lot, like none of the accounts, no path to a live account, and 100% um, profit to the traders, or no profit split for the company. So you start to go, huh? Like, how does that work? Like,
Yeah.
how is that not just doesn't seem like it's well something if it's like too good to be true, it usually is kind of
Uh-huh.
thing. And that's what invites people to start, blowing whistles and saying, hey, what about this over here? And then the whole industry becomes under fire. And we want to be a take profit trader again. If and when that day comes, that we're able to say, hey, like we've been here since this date, and this is what we do to make sure that we're doing things correctly. And, other firms are going to do what they want because in this industry, there's some money being thrown around and they want a piece of that action and will do anything. Some people will do anything to get a piece of that action. Some
Yeah.
of that stuff being maybe on the borderline of ethical, I think. But
Mm.
who am I? Who am I to decide that? But that's
That's
my take on it.
yeah, I think it is a good take, and you're right. That looming kind of if when regulations will definitely shake things up. I remember a few years ago there was always talk of regulations, and obviously it didn't happen yet. But back then I was more like opposed to it. I'm like, oh, it's going to ruin this industry. I think at this point I'm like almost hoping it happens to like get rid of some of the chaff that's bad out there. So we'll see. I'm not like I get a say in it. So, but it'll be
Yeah,
interesting. I think
yeah.
we're let's turn to some positive stuff, James. I know Take Profit Trader, we've talked about where you've been, where you're at. what is coming up. I know there's some amazing things that just launched. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so we're backed by popular belief, popular demand is our no fee 40 that's coming back. So when you're watching this video, we have that our every time we take it away, everybody's like, "Oh my God, you guys got to bring it back." So um, and you guys probably know no fee 40 by now. It's you get 40% off, and you get your activation fees waived. So all in 50K account, you could get it all in for $102. You could be in your pro account, and that's all in. That's trading your pro account, not just not just passing and then having to pay an activation fee and all that stuff. So that's backed by popular demand by the time you're watching this video. And we're really excited about it. It's one of those things that always when we don't run it all the time. We generally run other stuff, and people always like, we figured when we stop doing it, eventually people will stop asking for it. But it's like every time we take it away, people ask for it again.
Nice.
So yeah, that's how that works.
Okay, cool. Then as well, I talked to some other people at your firm, and I'm also going to be doing a giveaway myself. I'll make a separate video all about that, but I will be giving away 10 50K evaluations here in the month of October 2024. So anybody watching this video when it comes out, look forward to that, and there'll be info on my site and all that stuff, and tie it in with Take Profit Trader, probably the biggest giveaway I've done with Take Profit Trader, and I'm looking forward to it. It's always nice to kind of reward the people who follow me and I'm able to interact with some free accounts. I know you guys too. You often do giveaways and stuff, and I hear about them all the time. People like, hey, did you enter the Take Profit Trader giveaway? So people love that stuff.
Yeah, we're pumped about it. So you've always been such a key driver of our what do you want to call it, what we're trying to do here, and understanding like the industry, and so we're really excited. I'm always pumped when they tell me I'm coming on, because I know you talk to Matt a lot and stuff on our team about this, and we're just, if anything, we're just trying to do what's right, and that's why a lot of these things that are rolled out are trying to actually be more, because things happen too with platforms and stuff, as most of your viewers know, and so that's why we really doubled down on the support angle, also the payouts, and also trying to make this process faster, because when someone trades and let's call it, they get on a heater, they want to get paid, and like that's kind of what we've always hung our hat on, is why should you have to wait when you didn't wait to put your credit card into the system to trade an evaluation? Why should you have to wait to get your funds out? And because I know as a consumer to different products, and one that comes to mind is like the sports industry. If I bet on a football game, they'll take your money, but then when you try to get it out, it's like, oh, good luck. So we never wanted to do that, and we'll continue to lean on our payout policy. To try to be that person, be the firm for that person that really values that, and maybe that, and we again recognize that might not be everybody. There is a subset of the industry that likes lower prices, or they're okay getting paid slower. That's fine. We lean into that, right? We own that.
Yeah, you can't be everything to everyone, but I think you do a fantastic job at
That's right.
servicing the people that you do want to service. So it's remarkable. And I mean, I should have mentioned it earlier, but I mean, we kind of covered the industry and what's new and whatnot at Take Profit Trader. But I encourage everyone to, obviously check out Take Profit Trader. There'll be a link in the video, links on my site, all that stuff. But even things as simple as like Take Profit has CQG and Rhythmic. You have a variety of account sizes, all that stuff that not every firm has everything, but Take Profit is like it really is a nice blend of like all the stuff that I think should be important to people. So there's a reason Take Profit's successful. And if anyone watching this video has not yet watched or checked out Take Profit Trader, I mean, if you're not inspired to yet, I'm telling you to go check them out. So I think that's all I had. Did you have anything else you want to talk about? If not, we can
No,
leave it
I think
there.
that I think that that's it, and we're always open to as always to constructive criticism and not
Okay.
you know, people trying to slam us for not having this and not having that. And I think that, just from the words that I've spoken today, I think that the well-informed user, or maybe the user that wasn't as well-informed before, will start to understand. It's like, oh, I understand why firm A does it like this and firm C does it like this. There's always that trade-off. And
Hmm.
profit traders not trying to be everything to everybody. And again, that's
Yeah.
probably why we don't engage in some of the craziness out there with like the arguing and stuff. So we'd love to have you as a listener. And CFT, we love what you do.
Thanks.
And love that you're kind of always been a big fan of ours. So we're a big fan of yours too.
Oh, thank you. I know it's always it warms my heart when I get emails, say from Matt or somebody's like, "Hey, I watched your recent video." I'm like, "Oh, you guys actually watched my video?" It's like that's pretty cool, and not just take profit ones, like all the other ones. So I'm like, "All right,
Yeah.
cool." So no, that's what I'm saying. All right, cool. Well, yeah, we definitely. It might not have been 2 years, but it's definitely been too long, whatever the time was. So we should definitely like regroup at some point, even if it's 6 months, and just it's fun talking to James and getting an update on all things out there in the industry. So, anyways, James, hey, I appreciate it. I want to thank you
Thanks,
again.
CFT.
And I think that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody.
I appreciate you.
Wow, guys, I hope you enjoyed that little 25-minute conversation. James's professionalism obviously shines through. Take Profit, in my opinion, out there doing things right, staying out of all the back and forth and nonsense going out there. He makes some fantastic points. I love the one about, you have to give up something to get something else. So keep that in mind when you're evaluating the different firms. Like I said, Take Profit, one of my top three, guys, and they are top three for a reason. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, give Take Profit Trader a look. If you looked at them in the past, give them a look again, guys. So besides all the professionalism, all the other things we talked about, I can't emphasize enough, even just coming down to something as simple as payouts, they do it right. You put in a request, you're literally going to get your money probably by that day, if not the next day. Things are just seamless over there. I want to thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video.